After 48 years, I'm very, very happy. Thank you.
I want to say one word before we open it to questions, and that is we're here because of extraordinary staff work at every level. Every single one of us relied on the men and women who work here under exceptional circumstances with COVID to work long, long, long hours and to be there when we needed them. I just want to salute them. I think I join in that. Open it to any questions. Please. Whoops. What did you say?
What kind of look did you give him?
Is there any legislative answer to anything that happened in this hearing? I'm thinking more towards, a number of you commented, I think you did, Mr. Chairman, about like sentencing guidelines that everyone complains about that need reform.
Well, let's start at I'm just going to speak for myself. I haven't even talked to my colleagues on the committee. I just find it, this was a trial by ordeal. She went through 24 hours of questioning. Each one of us had 10-minute opening statements and then 50 minutes, minimum, 50 minutes to ask questions. I'm not sure that that is really fair to any nominee, or I don't believe it's necessary. I mean, you don't have to go that far back in history to find nominees who've gone through the Judiciary Committee in a matter of several hours, maybe a day. But now it's become an endurance contest, and I don't think that that necessarily serves the purposes that we're trying to serve. In terms of issues, we have plenty of issues. Some were raised during this hearing and others we're working on. I see my friend Amy Klobuchar here, who is breaking ground in areas of antitrust and raising questions that are central to so many different areas. I can just go around. I know that there's Sheldon, I was looking for you. I know you've got a few ideas for hearings too. Same thing is true in every one of them. What I've tried to do on these subcommittees is to give them the resources and the incentive to plow forward and take on some issues that haven't been touched in a long time. They haven't let me down. We've got an exciting committee. Yes.
A few hours ago on the same platform, Senator Ted Cruz and Senator Lindsey Graham stood there and said that if there was another nominee by this president, President Biden, that was similar to Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson, they would not let it go through if they are in the majority. What is your response to that?
Well, of course, we certainly hope they never have that opportunity. We want to continue and build our majority on the November election. And I think the American people supporting this nominee will understand the stark differences which some Republicans would bring to the bench. And I'd also go on to say that, no, I'm going to stop there. That's enough. Yes.
Yeah, don't ruin the joy of the day.
So after the contentious confirmation hearings, you did get through your Republican votes, but it does seem as if perhaps the era of bipartisan confirmation votes may be behind us. Do you think that going forward we can continue to look forward to contentious hearings and toxic partisanship for every nominee?
First, I can't say enough for the three, Collins, Murkowski, and Romney. They came through and took grief for it to a measure we rarely see around here. I respect them so much. I held out the hope that at the last minute several others would join them and realize that they wanted to be on the right side of history at this moment. Didn't pan out that way. We've got to continue to work to build bipartisanship. I'm lucky to have a man sitting next to me on that committee in Chuck Grassley, whom I count as a friend and as a fair individual. We didn't agree on this nominee, but there are a lot of things we do agree on. We've got to continue to build those bridges. One more question, yes.
Several senators have talked along those same lines about this process being broken in the Senate in terms of evaluating nominees. Are there any specific fixes, changes that you would like to see in the way that the Senate goes about evaluating future nominees to the court to try to get away from the process?
Well, I don't want to give that off the cuff. I'd rather reflect on it. It's changed. I mean, the elimination of the filibuster, the elimination of the 60-vote requirement by Senator McConnell changed the selection process very much, made it much more partisan under these circumstances. But before I start talking about options that we can consider, I want to do it in the cool light of the morning when we are not as excited as we are at this moment, and I'd rather do it in that fashion. Thank you very much. Okay, one more.
I just want to ask about
That I would vote yes?
Yeah, any of you guys, if you have anything that stands out about this, now Justice Jackson.
I believe what I said from the start. If you want to be the first, you have to be the best. This judge brought the strongest conceivable resume. If you ever graduated from law school and someone said you've got a chance for a clerkship, you'd jump at it, right? She had 3 of them at every level of the federal court. And if you said you want a person on the court who has experience as a defender, as a person who has been a district court judge, a circuit court judge, she checked every one of the boxes. And she'd been through the committee 3 times with bipartisan support. She was exceptional, and she had to be, because the first person to ever try to break down a barrier is going to be really carefully scrutinized. So, you know, for me, from the beginning, I thought this president made a wise and strong choice. It's good for America, and she is good for the court. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Richard. I'm going to just follow you.
I like having hearings. I think the public have a right to meet the judge. And you want to make sure you have a nominee that can, knows the law. And that's one sure way to do it. But I think what Dick was talking about was reducing some of the time spent on it, because it becomes almost a stimulants match. But I do think that you still want to give the public an opportunity, as we do with all